The big one. The one up top is the one we're looking at. And recognize this isn't going to be on the test. I've already told you what you need to do for the test. So the rest is for grins and giggles. And then so you can, so maybe, because sometimes I wonder if stats classes even talk about how you actually use the stuff. Do they talk about how you use the stuff? Yes? Yeah. Good. Good. But you don't remember. Have you had this class? Are you taking stats 2 right now? Taking right now. Do you know any of these numbers up here?
A little.
Which one?
The p-value.
Ah, that's what I'm fishing for. What is the p-value?
I haven't figured it out yet. I know it's a number we work with.
It's a number you work with.
It's a probability.
Is that all? Probability?
It's the probability of having something happen.
It's the probability of having something happen. In this case, you want that number to be big or small? Not generally.
Well,
it depends on.
If you want it to happen, then you don't want the probability to be too high. But if it's something you do want to happen, you want the probability to be higher.
Okay.
Imagine.
Yes. So he's in that sense, you're correct. In that sense, in the way that you just described it, you're absolutely correct. Although it's how you measure whether or not it's likely to happen is backwards from your big and your small, in the sense that if you look at the x equals hours line and you go over there and look at that probability, less it's 0.00058, is that significant or not significant? Have you done, it might be alpha tests? Alpha, do you want alpha above or below 0.05?
Usually want it at 0.05. And then you test to see the prob value is less than alpha.
Which is typically 0.05.
Correct.
Okay. And so that's what I want you thinking about. So you're testing to see, that p-value is a test to see what alpha is, maybe in your language, which means, is it less than 0.05 here? Yes, which means it's significant. Okay, so that's what it's telling us. Yeah.
When we do these, are we always going to assume that alpha is 0.05 then? Because since it's not always a 95% confidence level, that number will change depending on.
Yes, stereotypically, yes. And that's just something you memorize. You kind of know that it's significant when it's less than 0.05, less than or equal to 0.05. It's actually, in at least the writing that I do, it's considered marginally significant if it's less than 0.10. So if it's less than 0.1, it's considered marginally significant. However, it's quite significant if it's less than 0.05, okay? Or less than or equal to 0.05. Yes, ma'am?
I don't understand any of what you guys are talking about with alpha.
Have you had stats? Which stats is that in? Stats 2. Well then you haven't done stats 2 yet.
Yeah, so I don't understand what you're talking about.
Do you not do tests? Probably not. No, I'm not going to be able to do a better job than you.
We're not going to use it.
No, it's not anything you're going to be tested on.
Okay.
It's not, because I've already, what you're going to be tested on, which is under the red arrows on the board. You've got to be able to take those numbers from there. So if you look, if I give you a printout, you got to be able to find the numbers you need to be able to create a cost function.
Okay.
So that's what you need to do on the test. The rest of this is for grins and giggles. And you are doing neither. She is neither grinning nor giggling at this point. But for some of you, this is helpful, particularly those of you who've had stats. This is helpful to realize. And who knows, maybe you'll remember a little bit more. Anthony's falling asleep, though, so he might not be remembering too much from today's class. Also, the significance of F is also telling us the same thing. So the significance of F is telling us that, yes, we drew a good line. That there's a relationship between the activity that we are using and the dollars we're using that is meaningful. The other thing that you can look at to see how good the line is r squared. Do you recall r squared? Anthony? Alex? R squared?
I know you guys are familiar with it, but I can't tell you what it is.
It's just a measure that tells us what? I can't tell you how to calculate it. I just know that it tells us, again, it's another measure of goodness of fit. And it would be perfect fit if it were 1. Okay? 1 is perfect fit with the points. The points in the line have a perfect fit. So you are now really, really looking forward to stats. Have you had stats 1?
A minute.
You're in it? How are you doing okay? I hope doing good. So now you're looking forward to stats 2 even more. But you're going to be a little better prepared. Because you're like, regression? I know what I can use that for, right?
Yep.
I can use it to do what? Predict the future. You're right. Create a cost function. Predict the future. And so we've got that cost function. How are we going to use that to predict the future? Kristen? How are we going to use that cost function to predict the future? The one that's on the board right there, how are we going to use that to predict the future? And we're going to use it the exact same way we use the cost function we created using the high-low method. So a cost function is a cost function is a cost function. How are we going to use it? Anthony, that's a ginormous yarn right there. You don't know? Brett, do you know? Huh? We solve for y. That's a correct statement in what I was fishing for. And what do we have to do to be able to solve for y? You have to input an x, solve for y. Okay, so that is how we use that cost function. And you've got to be able, and the x has to be given to you in the problem that I'll be giving to you in class, giving you in class. Okay? So can you take a printout like this, create a cost function, and then use that cost function to predict the future? Joe?
Yep.
Very good. This means yes. Robina? Can you take that printout, create a cost function? Okay. And then using that cost function happens just like we did using the high-low method. If you now know how to do that, you're free to go. We'll see you on Thursday. Turn it in. Please do turn it in.